Hello everyone, this is the second part of the walkthrough of AWS CLI IoT, Mosquitto and Arduino Yun. In this walkthrough, I'll show you how to create MQTT client to work with AWS IoT service. I will explain what is MQTT, I will show how to install Mosquitto, and also to create a subscribe client as well as publish client. So let's get started. MQTT actually stands for Message Queue Telemetry Transport. According to MQTT.org, it can be used for machine-to-machine or IoT connectivity protocol. It is extremely lightweight for publish or subscribe messaging transport. Essentially, I think MQTT is ideal protocol for hardware applications because of its small size, low power usage, minimize data packets, and efficient distribution of information. In this walkthrough, I'm going to use Mosquitto, which is an open source message broker for MQTT. I'll use it to create MQTT client to subscribe and publish the desired message to our AWS IoT message broker. There are two reasons I chose Mosquitto. First is because I'm more familiar with it. Second, because Mosquitto works in CLI, so I can focus this walkthrough in my command line interface. But if you check in Google by typing MQTT client, there are actually more MQTT client tools out there. For example, from the first search with title The 7 Best MQTT Client Tools from HiveMQ, they actually have MQTT.fx, MQTT Spy, and so on. And also, Mosquitto is part of it. Besides of Mosquitto, other MQTT clients provide user interface, and this is very handy. Instead of typing our long command line every time, with their user interface, we can save a lot of time to execute MQTT activities. Again, as I said, I'm focusing this walkthrough with command line interface, so Mosquitto is preferred. To install Mosquitto, click the Downloads navigation. For my case, I'm using Mac. The installation is very easy. All you need to do is to have Brew Package Manager installed in your local machine. Copy this line and paste it in your terminal. I'm not going to do this again because I have this installed previously. After the installation is finished, we need to retrieve two things from AWS. First is the root certificate. You can find it in AWS IoT Developer Guide in this link. I will put this link in this video description. Make sure you are in the section of Verify, MQTT, Subscribe, and Publish. You can get the root certificate by clicking here. Then I'm going to open up my terminal, change directory to my AWS folder that contains my other key files. Then I open up my Atom text editor. I create a new file called root.ca.pm. Copy this and paste it and save it. And secondly, after you have configured your AWS CLI account, we need to retrieve the AWS account specific IoT endpoint. We can do this by typing this command line. You can save this somewhere in your local machine for future reference. Or another option is to type in this command line every time you need to check your endpoint. After that, we can try to subscribe and publish MQTT topic through our AWS IoT message broker. To create a subscribe client with Mosquitto, we need to type in this command line. Make sure you set your CA file here to your root CA location. For CA file is used for SSL communication. Change your cert here to your certificate location. Change your key here to your private key location. Change the host to your AWS endpoint. This P flag here stands for port. So for port 883, it allows for encrypted MQTT protocol. Q flag here stands for quality of service. Here we set it to 1, and this guarantees our message to be delivered. D flag here is to enable debug message. For the T flag here in Mosquitto subscribe, it stands for the topic that we are going to subscribe. If it is in Mosquitto publish, then this T flag stands for the topic that we are going to publish. For this case, I set my topic as test. And for the I flag here is to set the ID for this client. Make sure it is unique and does not clash with the other client ID that subscribe or publish in this topic. In this case, I just set it to client 1. Click enter and you have started to see the client is subscribing to the topic that we mentioned earlier. Now let's open another terminal tab. We are going to publish some messages with this terminal. Make sure you are in the directory where you store your certificate and other key files. So let's copy this line, but we need to change this subscribe to publish, and we can copy the rest. And we also need to change our client ID. Make sure it is unique and not similar as the client ID with the subscribe client we created earlier. Otherwise, the subscribe client won't receive the message. Here, we need to type in our message. For example, I type in hello world. Click enter. There you can see our message is shown in the subscribe client. Let's create another message. Let's say AWS IoT is awesome. There you go. When you publish it, the client who subscribed to this topic will receive the message. It is really simple to use. So that's it. This is the end of the walkthrough for part 2. In the next video, I'll walk through with you about how to use an IoT device, Arduino Yun, to work with AWS IoT service.